Don't touch yours. I'm here doing a live video. We got the stick. We got the wolf. And we got the bombardier that we're gonna epoxy today. I'll just give it some time. I just have to set up, get some things organized. Wait to see if anybody's gonna join us. Lovely day, guys. So we got ourselves set up. We have our gloves. We have our epoxy that we're just kind of turning upside down a couple times, just to give it sort of like a mix. We got our measuring cup and a brush. Just using this for now. We'll probably just do a lot of the snake by hand. It's easier. We got a bucket in case it drips. Gotta have a bucket just to see who's there. Hey, if you're there, say hi. You're the first one up. It's probably Tommy. Tommy just loves to be first. It's itchy. So we carved this stick and we basically added our paints, our airbrush paints to it. Alright. That's a big glare in the back. Maybe I'll cut that off. Hey, Creighton, you're first. Alright. I'm just getting set up. Waiting for a couple people to join us if they're here. I think I'm gonna kill this thing here. So we're in the shop. We're in my buddy's basement, or my new shop that I'm here to do during the winter months. We're all set up. So we're just gonna wait for a couple people to see if they join us. Put out a post to see if anybody wanted to come live. Got lots of time. Not too many breaks, just trying to clean up a bit. Got our epoxies ready. Basically just try to mix them up. It's good to just have them flip upside down once in a while. So what we're using is a pour-on. Pour-on is a Michael's brand. I use it for all my work. A lot of this stuff is it becomes pretty solid. It protects pretty good. So if you're just joining me live, say hello. Don't be shy. We can chat up a bit before we start working on this stuff. Just trying to mix it up a bit. It's good to have your stuff mixed up, guys. If that's important. Make sure you have a clean container. These are actually pee bottles I get from the hospital. I got a whole whack of them sitting on that desk in that bag right there. Just my boss said they got contaminated by the seal being broken, so they can't use it. So I said, can I have them? And they went, yeah. So they have measurements on them. You can go by ounce. It's about 4 ounces on there. Milliliters, ounces, whatever you want. Yeah, milliliters. It's for the mixture. We go half and half. We mix half. Mix it for a good 2 minutes. You know, a good couple of minutes. 2 minutes. Couple minutes, and basically, epoxy is thick. So when you're using epoxy, it really likes to go with gravity and likes to go downwards. So what I like to do is start with the bottom first, get as much as I can halfway through, make sure it's on there good, it's not too thick. Up so early? Dude, it's noon. Where the heck? Are you still in bed? So doing that kind of stuff allows it to settle. Um, it takes about 24 to 48 hours for epoxy to cure. Now, I don't usually send out an item that's been epoxied for like a week or so. It's noon, man. Like, people like you are retired get to sleep in. I've been up since 4. Trying to cure that cat attack there. I got scratched pretty good here. Holy crap, she got me. She jumped over me at the middle of the night. I didn't feel it. Just basically stabbed me or scratched me. So just waiting for others. If you're on there, say hi so I can see you. Because I don't know who's with me right now. It says there's 4 people, which is good. Just trying to mix up the epoxy. Now this stuff is messy. Like, if you're not careful and you get it on you, yeah, it's not good. So as we're just waiting for others to join us, we're gonna let that mix. Just gonna check the messages to make sure if anybody else is messaging me. Good morning, Mark Ryan. What's shaking? How's everybody doing today? Hope everybody's good. Yeah, maybe, could be. I don't know. Check it out. I can kind of see myself too live on here. Doing good, right on. I guess there's a delay for me in this kind of stuff, but that's okay. I need to see. I don't know. I can see that. Alright, so we got a couple people on us here. We're watching. So we're gonna just start off by mixing our epoxy. So for these projects, I mean, it depends on how much you want to do. We got a lot of these cups, so we can do one batch just for the wolf, and then the other one we can do for the stick. So we're gonna start off by just measuring. I guess that's the only thing we can do. If I can get the damn cap off. These things are funky. There we go. Right. So I think we're gonna just do a I want to go 2 family fun. Oregon keeping me up. Oh my. There you go. We're gonna do a 140 mix of the resin and then the hardener after. So bear with me while I measure it out. Pretty important to get the leftovers off the top, because that's why the cap sticks easily on these things. If you accidentally touch the hardener with it, oh, you're in trouble. Alright, so we try not to do that. Try. Let me just see, make sure I got that right. It's light there. Yeah, 140. And then we'll do a mixture of 140 with the hardener. Yeah, this is the hardener. So that'd be 180. 280. All right. Now this might be enough to do even the whole stick itself. We'll see how that works. Make sure we put a glove on. Make sure you got a clean stick. Mountain View turn, how you doing, buddy? So this is the most important part of it all, guys, is to make sure that you mix it well. Make sure you get a good mix. Don't just slap it in there, mix it for a second and go, oh, it's done. In fact, I usually bring my drill with me, and then I'll put even the stick in there, and it even mixes better. I'm good, thanks. Just doing a live video I promised I was going to do to put the epoxy on it, showing everybody. Glad you guys could all join me. It's always good, always fun. I wish I would have brought a bigger stick, though I didn't. To mix, but what are you gonna do? Whoa, look at just Carver Rob decided to get out of bed. Dreaming of beavers and pickles. Alright, this stuff is just like yeah, and you know what? You only have so much time to work with epoxy, guys. I think I've said that before. You want to make sure you start getting her going as soon as you can. So yeah, mix. This is fun. Yeah, make sure you get all the bottoms. You know, it's even good to sometimes. Oh, you're making an Oscar, eh? Your little buddy challenged you to do an Oscar. We challenged the whole crowd. Good. Still no beaver. Does that have an older what? An older brother, older sister? An odor? No. Not that I know of. Yeah, it does smell. It does have a smell if you put your nose to it like I just did. But it's not bad. It's like, I mean, it's not horrible. I smell worse. So you want a good consistency, a good mixing. That's what I've been saying. Get everything out of it. Pain in the ass to mix something this small, though. Now, this is a lot of epoxy. There's a lot on here, or in here. So we should be good for quite a bit of stuff. See what happens. So like I said, if you're on here, say hi. If you're new to the channel, yeah, sealant. I use it for, I guess you could call it sealant. I use it to protect the stick, if that's what you're saying. Protect the items. I mean, you know what? If you drop it, it's gonna crack. It doesn't matter, but it just gives it a little bit of life, a little bit longer life expectancy, I guess, because and I fully sealed them, and like, I mean, you got to remember, where it's minus 30 out there, it's not cracking. Not that I see. No matter what, it'll discolor. That's nothing new. Like, I have an owl in my front yard, and it's been out there for about 5 years, and not that it turned yellow, but it has other colors to it. Yeah, that would have been the way to do it, but I didn't bring it. I didn't bring my drill, buddy. I forgot. That's okay. I gave it a good mix for at least a good 2-3 minutes. Now I need to put on my other glove. Oh shit. No, that's okay. No, that's not okay. That is garbage. Garbage. All right, so we're gonna start off. We're gonna start off with. I'm gonna say with this guy. So obviously we got to put some at the bottom. So we're just painting it on, right, guys? That's all it is. And then you can use your glove, and you could kind of smear it on there after if you want. That's why we're wearing the gloves. And also, if there's any kind of issues with this stuff being, like, say if you, like, the skis are not attached, they were separate, right? So for this guy, so what happens is once this dries, it hardens like glue. So we're kind of double protecting it. I know some guys use a torch to get the bubbles out. You can do that too, eh? There's nothing wrong with that. I don't do that often. I mean, it's not like it's... All it'll do is it'll bring the epoxy, it'll sort of, like when you heat it, it'll go down. Hey Tommy, where did Jordy? You see Jordy here? I don't think so. Wrong guy, buddy. Wrong guy. Thanks for the help with Oscars for Rich. Well, you guys are confusing me here. Whatever. I have no idea what you're talking about. What? Oh, you just woke up. That's okay. What are you talking about, Rob? What Oscars for me? I never asked for an Oscar. An Oscar award? What you talking about? Okay. So for Rich, last night's painting? I got you, Rob. I see what you're saying. Glad I could help you. You know that. What you saw. Alright, so what I do next is I just rub it in. Okay? Now, why I rub it in? Because I want to get it everywhere. It worked out for you, Rob? The fur? How with the stuff, I guess? You send me a picture if you want later. Okay, so as you can see, well, it looks wet, right? That's all it's gonna look. That's all it's gonna do. So with this now is a good idea to just always keeping an eye on it, because like I said, the epoxy wants to drain itself down, and you'll get big drips here. Where's the lines? It worked great. Good stuff. Good to know. So I'm just gonna set that on a nail like so, and it's sitting down there, so that's good. Next guy is the wolf. Now this is different because the wolf has a lot of, it has like areas that you can get into. Now you really want to make sure if you're going to do this. I also got to drill a big hole later, so I'm not worried about the bottom. And like I said, I think we have enough epoxy to do the whole stick. It covers a good area. Just trying to show you guys just the basics of this. It's nothing complicated, guys, nothing brain surgery. All you're doing is adding. The nice thing about the sponge is you can push down on it, get out a lot of that epoxy, and then sort of rub it into other spots. That's a good idea to have these kind of, just dollar store, man. That's all it is dollar store. Okay. See how it kind of just, I don't know if you can see that, but I'm just smearing it on it, getting it everywhere. And then with the old mighty glove, we will wipe away, or we'll just mix it into it, right? Alright, so all I'm going to do is take the rest of the epoxy off the brush, set it down on a clean surface. That's it. That's all I'm going to do is just rub it in so it gets to all the spots. One thing you want to make sure is you don't leave big amounts of epoxy anywhere, okay guys, if you're using this stuff, because once it dries like, if it like, say example, if it drips, you'll have to cut that stuff off, and that's just normal, eh? I mean, that's the thing. And you could I could put a little epoxy on the bottom, it doesn't matter. I'm going to be drilling that out later. Well, I see seven people online with me here. Say hi if you're new, or if you're there, if you're just watching. Don't be shy. These guys don't bite, they just talk. They just like to chat. Hoping we can get some new subscribers on the channel. I think we're up to, Rob, what did I tell you we were at? I was at 100 and something. Hey Sean, nice for you to come on. Just doing the epoxy. Can't remember what I said we were at, Rob. I keep on telling Rob what we're at. I think he's at 160 or something like that maybe now. I'm not even sure. Okay, so here we go. That's all it is just add in the epoxy. It'll bring out I mean, it's kind of, the lighting here is shit because I didn't set up great lighting. 374 for me, right on. There we go. I knew it was somewhere there. And I know you're at 150, 160. Like I said, just like a hemorrhoid, we're growing. Gotta really appreciate all you guys subscribing and joining us on these live videos. Really like that. Alright guys, so I'm just gonna wipe the ends like this here because it's in there. There's probably not a spot that didn't get hit. Now if we wanted to, and you're at 160, sweet. And if you want to, we can let this dry till tomorrow, keeping an eye on it always, and put another coat on it. Tommy, you're gonna get there, buddy. You're gonna get there. You gotta post out more videos, man. Put out more videos. That's what you need to do. Show us what you're doing. That's all it's about. You know what? I said it before, and I'm not gonna, you know, I'm not gonna lay waste to it, like in a sense. But I mean, if it wasn't for people like Jordy that basically threw my name out there, I probably wouldn't be at these numbers. I mean, so it's good that, you know, we get support from guys who are bigger in the YouTube, the channels and all that, and then doing the same craft as us makes a big difference too. So I do appreciate that he did that. I would not in no way say differently. Alright, so now we're gonna go on to the skulls. Now with the skulls, because this is a bigger item, all I'm gonna do, well, yeah, then do it, bro. Show everything you can, because people want to see that kind of stuff, you know? That's all there. So all I'm gonna do with this is I'm gonna start off by just dropping a whole whack of epoxy on the top, and then with my fingers and my magical gloves, all I'm gonna do is like I said, this stuff will want to go downwards. And again, with the epoxy, if there's any kind of cracks that are in the art, it will seal them. That I guarantee you, it'll seal them if you get them in there properly. Oops, trying to get anything in the bucket if you're going to drip it. Yeah, if you got stuff to show like that, I would definitely say, like, get it out there. And you guys, like, let's give ourselves some shout-outs here. Eh? Like, you know what? Check out Tommy's channel. Check out Just Carve Rob. Check out, you know, check out everybody that comes on here, because this is what we're doing. We're making it as a big community. We're making it so that everybody can get out, man. It's just not me. You know, I want everybody to have a chance to grow. I mean, I get it. What's your website, Tommy? Tommy, what's your channel on here? I think it's Tommy64, if I'm correct. So we got a lot of epoxy, extra epoxy. I can tell you right now, we're gonna have a hell of a lot. So I ended up making a bit too much. That's okay. Doesn't hurt. I think we're not going to use the paintbrush at all. We're just going to get our fingers. We're going to get as much epoxy as we can everywhere. On Instagram. Yeah, that's right. Tommy's on Instagram also, if you guys want to check him out. Rob, I think, is on Instagram. I don't know what the rest of you guys, you never, unless you talk to me more, I'm not sure what's going on. But like I said, I'll push out any of your stuff too. You know, you want to send me pictures at my Gmail, you know, all that stuff. Let's do it, because otherwise, I mean, I can only put so much out, right? So we do add it to the bottom base too a lot. I mean, this, even if the hook gets touched with it, it comes off no matter what, guys. So I'm not worried. But like, can you see that? How wet it looks? That's how shiny it's gonna look when it's done. It's gonna look shiny, shiny, shiny. So make sure you get yourself a good pair of gloves if you're gonna use. If you're gonna do the epoxy, I'd recommend it. I did make way too much epoxy, and I can't really do anything else with it because I don't have any other projects here. But all I'm doing is I'm rubbing the snake. Rubbing the snake. Rubbing it. Alright. Now, there is no other way to wipe down this stuff with epoxy. So if you see that you've gotten too thick somewhere, you have to use your gloves, guys. You have to get in there and just kind of rub it away. You know, try to get it so it's even. The last thing I'll do is I'll bring it down like this, sort of, you know, pulling whatever excess epoxy I have. Putting it in all the grooves. And then the last is the snake, is just to make sure you don't leave too much on there. Because if you leave too much on here, guys, like I said before, you know what's going to happen. It's going to dry, it's going to clump, it's not going to look good. I'll tell you right now, just being here live with myself, the colors have just popped out, the greens and all that, and it looks even better when it's dry. And like I said, if I really need to, I can put another coat on it. I wouldn't recommend sanding. That's why I'm doing this. Sometimes it's good to have another pair of clean gloves after and just go over it. Like after, like let it set for, 20 minutes or so. You can do that. It's not going to hurt it. But just when you're doing it with epoxy, just keep an eye on it. That's all I'm saying. Like, I mean, I'm no expert at this shit, man. I'm just saying, it's not what I've been doing for the last couple of years, and it's been working for me. If you guys are interested in trying this stuff out, it'll work for you the same way. It's just got to be careful. All right, so you know what? Now we're just gonna hang it, and hang it like that to dry. Make sure it doesn't fall. Mark, you can go back to bed. And just as it's hanging, I'm just gonna pull down the last bits. Now, like I said, I have a good that much left over. It's a shame that I wasted it, or I made too much, but sometimes you just don't know. You just don't know, okay? What I can do is just add a little bit more into the wolf, just so it gets everywhere. Getting all those little cracks. Thanks, Tommy. Get the wolf going a little bit more. Like, I'll just do this for like 10-15 minutes. I'll just keep on going back at it, make sure there's no drips. Just because it will pull itself down. You remember where we did the break, guys? The break on the stick there where the handle broke? This will definitely keep it solid. I mean, unless you're gonna go and really reef on it, then you got issues. But just like anything else, a walking stick or a cane, it is not a crutch. It's not the same thing. So when you're using it's for stability. That's all I can say to you. Like, you're not there to hold your whole 150 to 300 pound body up. I'll tell you that. You do that, you're gonna bend, bust, whatever. You know what I mean? Not a good idea. So it's not made to hold everything up. That's all I'm saying. And like I said, I will look at your channel, Tommy. How the hell can you have breakfast? It's 1 o'clock. I'll come to your house. I want breakfast. Alright, so yeah, then we're gonna just let that dry. I just got it on a nail back down here, so if it does drip, it's on my table. Like so. Alright. Do. So obviously you guys can tell, like, the epoxy part it doesn't take long. It really doesn't to mix. There you go. That's the way to do it, Tommy. Say please. Subscribe. If you ask nicely, people do it. Wife is good to me. Right on. Well, my wife's good to me too when I do things for her. No, it is what it is. We're all good. Now, if you don't, does the resin absorb in the wood very far? Okay, that's a good question. Depending on if you have a crack. Now, that hole I put in the back, if I put resin in there and I let it set, it'll soak in because I actually drilled into it. It'll soak in. How far it goes, I would probably say no. Resin is the resin is a hard compound, right? So, meaning that it wants to stick. It's almost like a glue. Yeah, you can see the color spot. The resin wants to basically be like a glue. It wants to come out and just like sit on top. But if there is cracks in anything, it'll settle itself in. So that's a good thing. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now, just because, is I'm going to just rub the bottom. I'm going to change out my gloves. Well, I'm going to put a new pair of gloves on. Like I said, this stuff can sit here. You can let it sit for about 10-15 minutes and then come back. But it does have a drying time. Like, it does dry. It'll start to set, and once it sets, it starts to get hard. So if you're gonna do anything to it, as in check out, like, okay, so I see right there something. Oh, that's the eye. Never mind. Sometimes things stick to it, as in, yeah, rubber foot will be at the back, at the bottom. If you're gonna put like, if you get dust and stuff on it, you're in trouble. That's why trying to be in a clean, not as dusty place is the best way to go at it. Letting it dry I think I would say the first is epoxy paintable. You know what? I don't know. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I have never painted over epoxy, so I don't know. Unfortunately, it's a wasting. I gotta throw it out because it'll set and it'll harden. I'm not gonna wait for another project. It wouldn't be worth it. I don't have anything to do with it. I got some all over my shop thing down here. I don't know. I think, you know, honestly, Rob, I think if you painted over it, it just, I don't know. I think it won't. It would slide off it, kind of thing, or it won't set well. I think you do a project. When you do a project, you basically paint first, then you epoxy. Like, I mean, anywhere you're doing that, it's always good. Like I said, the first critical is about 20, half an hour, 45 minutes to an hour, is to keep an eye on your project. Pain in the ass to have to sit there and watch it, but it's the way it is. Nah, I don't have anything that I can. It's in the garbage now. It's whatever. You know what? I used, like, look, I used like these are $60 for these two bottles, and I used like maybe half an inch each. So I don't like to waste, but sometimes it just shit happens, right? So voila. If I took a torch, okay, so here I'm going to talk about this. Epoxy tables, all right? When you're doing a table with epoxy, you want to take a torch to blow out all the bubbles. You're sitting on a flat surface, right? So you want to take the bubbles out, yes. With something that's standing upwards like this or whatever, if you hit it with a torch, what's going to happen is it's going to want to make it spread. That's why when we do a table, I haven't done a table yet, but just want to pop and spread. So that's why you'd use a torch on those items like this, all right? And it has made it want to run down more. Do you have a small scrap of cottonwood? What do you mean, do I have? I have tons of cottonwood, brother. I got lots of cottonwood. Not here, at home. So I wouldn't be using it. Like I said, the epoxy's gone. It looks like everything's settling pretty good. I don't see any big drips coming out of the bottom, so that's a good thing. But like I said, I'll keep an eye. See, on the wolf, there is. It's starting to drip. So what I do is I'll take, throw that glove out. Small cutoff. I could probably send you one there, buddy. I could throw one in with the package. Just trying to, I know I'm down here, but I'm just trying to wipe away anything that's starting to drip. Because if it drips and it stays like that, it'll go solid. I'll show you guys. If anything has like a little drip like that, even if you don't wipe it off, it'll end up. Sure, cottonwood is very soft, eh? Tell me it's very easy. You can almost carve it with your nail. It's flaky. Especially under spots like under the mouth. You want to make sure you get under the ears. You know, anywhere that's kind of will hold the resin. All right. Yeah, it'd be cool making a skull. Just gotta check down here. Sorry, not the bottom. Like I said, everything wants to gradually go. Make its way down. Like I said earlier, sometimes it's okay. Sometimes not sometimes, to add an extra coat of epoxy would just give it that more solid look to it. So definitely would be something I could do. I'll see when it's dry, of course. Whenever you wait for your projects to dry, it makes it that much easier, right? So it's usually a good 72 in a house. Here it's a little cooler. He likes to keep it a little cooler, but that's okay as long as it's not like freezing cool. Dry nice. It'll dry slow. But the one thing's, because like I said, because it's hung upside down or upside right, whatever it is, you have to make sure you keep an eye on it, because things like where the snakes. It's down here, right here, down there. You could sand. Once this is dry, you could sand it, lightly sand it. It's wood, right? So you're gonna get the wood itself. Sometimes the stain in the wood has little like dots to it. It'll be on there. It'll dry. It'll be a little bit hard to the touch. It's not a big deal. You just want to try to make sure you get anything like hairs or. I mean, he had a dog in here, but there's no hair flowing around anymore. It'll make it smooth. That I can tell you guys. It'll make it a lot smoother. But anywhere there's like a pocket. Pocket meaning anywhere like in the eyes, the nose, the mouth, right? You want to keep an eye on that because it'll harden thick. And I'll tell you right now, it's already starting to settle. I can feel how it's getting a lot stickier to the touch of the brush. Keep an eye on these guys too. But once it starts to dry, it's good. I'm just gonna wash my hands. Own personal bathroom in here too. It's nice. So yeah, that's basically the process of what I do with epoxy. Just make sure that if you're gonna get any kind of epoxy, you gotta make sure it's mixed well. So my biggest thing is I'll just do this for about, you know, not in a crap row and wash my hands. You know, make sure you mix it well because it sets. It does sit. So make sure you do that a bunch of times. And then when you're adding them together, really give it a good 4 minutes. That's important. And then again, after adding epoxy to your items, make sure you can see if there's anything that's dripping. And I can tell when it's dripping because I know there's a piece that's bigger than normal. And I kind of just wipe it off. You want to make sure you get that, because then if you're going to have to sand this stuff down after, you know, it's kind of shitty. Rob, stop counting how many times I go to the washroom. You really want to take a look at what's going on. Rob's going to make a video on counting how many times I go to the washroom. That's what he's going to do. Richard goes to the washroom too many times. Alright, looks like it's almost settling, like where it's basically grapper. To the bog. Well, I guess I'm gonna have a seat. I'm getting old. Let's just watch it dry. It's like paint. It's like watching paint dry. No, but seriously, you have to keep an eye on it because if it drips, it's no fun. Like the Count on Sesame. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Many issues of that. So what's everybody's plans today? What are we doing? Are we carving anything? Are we just sitting around watching TV? I was gonna carve something else, but can't do it in here now because I'm getting dust everywhere. Might go back home and paint a little bit of the, what time is it? 1 o'clock. Paint some of this stuff. The picture again. Let's see. What is that? This guy's an idiot. What does it look like? Picture, he goes, what is that? Well, what the hell does it look like? He always likes to pick on me. I need to find a branch. Well, there's no branches out by you. There's gotta be a branch out there, guys. Come on. What was yesterday's carving? What are you talking about, Rob? What you talking about, Willis? What are you carving today? I see a lot of this Doug Linker guy now. When you watch carving videos, him and that older guy that Rob keeps mentioning once in a while. I can't remember his name. I did find someone else on here. He's pretty funny. He's pretty cool. Can't remember what his name is. I'll try to find it here while. No, I did not sign my work. Is that what TV shows yesterday? So there's really nowhere. I mean, maybe I could on the top here. I could put my initials in it. I mean, you're not going to see very much of it anyway. There's another guy I just subscribed to. Trying to find his name. Gene Messer, yeah, Gene Messer. That's the other guy. There's a guy. It's harder to see on here because I'm not. Just being on my phone is different. Knife carving, yeah. That's good. Another good guy you guys might want to... Oh yeah, Mike Stinnett, that's just amazing. Another guy that I like to watch, and I don't know if he's from Australia, but he's Wakeling Wood Arts. He does a lot of... I don't know if you can see that. He does a lot of walking sticks with snakes on them, and he does some damn good work. It's called Waking, so Wakeling Wood Arts. He's a good shit, man. I talk to him the odd time. I know he's not American and he's not Canadian, so sometimes these guys' videos come up and then sometimes they don't. So you have to just keep on searching for them. If I had my laptop, I could see. Yeah, weakling. I think I just said it. I don't know. You'll have to go back and check what I just said because I don't know. Weakling, yeah. I think he's Australian or something. You know, there's a lot of good guys on YouTube that carve some pretty good stuff. I mean, I try to watch and support other people too, guys. I'll sub to their videos and stuff like that and get their notifications and all that. So it's pretty cool to watch other guys do stuff. You know, I like I said, there's no offense to anybody, but I mean, if you're gonna do the same thing over and over and over, I get kind of bored, so I will move on. That's why I think we're all good for it, man. We're all good for trying something different, trying something new, adding different stuff to our art. You know, like, yeah, I do a lot of snakes. I like snakes. Skulls are the first time I've done that, so that's different. Wolf head, first time I've ever done that. Bombardier, first time I've ever done that. So, I mean, it's a learning experience. I had yesterday, I think it was, on one of the Facebook groups, I posted on one of the airbrush groups that I'm on. You know, and I was honest. I'm still practicing, still trying. And there's always some clown. Like, even on YouTube, there's always a clown that gives you a thumbs down for whatever reason. Like, you know, honestly, if you don't like the shit, get the hell out. Like, that just cover up guy isn't too bad. I don't even know who the hell that is. Yeah, that's some clown, you know. Like, what kind of comment do you put, is this? Wow, you really need to practice more or something like that. You know, like, it looks like shit, you know. That's basically what I took it as. And I didn't give it back to him. I said, wow, thanks. You know, what else are you supposed to say? I'm not gonna, you know, social media, people is, you know, look what it gets you, right? It gets you into shit with other guys that, you know, I don't put myself up there nowhere, and I think you guys are all great. I mean, you're great to watch, you're great to do stuff, you're great to freaking do your art, you know? I mean, I don't sit on these videos and tell you to shut up and don't do this, don't do that. I'm not into that. That's, do what you want. We're all having fun, we're all joking. That's the way it is. Yeah, Robbie, you're great. You got some good shit going on. But I still need you to put a price on some of that stuff. Like, dude, you gotta start freaking, your whole shop's just gonna be you. You gotta start putting some stuff out there. I mean, if you want, I know people like say, oh, I give it away. Yeah, but also see if you can make something out of it, because I mean, yeah, you're a beaver. You know, say if you can make something off it. See if anybody will buy it. I mean, I have a friend in Winnipeg here, just like, you know, in my town, or whatever you want to call it here, and she just started drawing, and she basically, she's selling her stuff, like just simple drawings and stuff, and she's getting like $50-$60 for these things. There's always somebody out there that's gonna want what you make and what you do, especially the beavers, man, the Canadian ones. Starting to get there. Yeah, see, a lot of free tattoos. They're my friends. How can you put a price on your friends? That's a great question. You better get some new friends. You better get some real friends. Somebody you can talk to. Not your wood pieces. You think you're nuts. No, I get it, man. You know what? If you don't want to sell them and stuff like that, that's on you. If you want to keep them just so you can look at them, that's on you too. But I mean, I know that your stuff you can sell that stuff, man. It's fun. It's people will buy them. You just got to figure out what you want to sell them for. Yep, a bunch of knotheads. Knotheads or hotheads. You know what? When you're just, I guess you kind of feel intimidated of what you're doing. You know what you think you could sell it for, whatever. I get it because I'm in that boat too. I mean, like I said, the most expensive stick I sold was $700. That was just like, holy crap! Who does that? Where to sell drawings? Well, you're not on Facebook, you said. Oh, a bunch of knotheads, yeah. I mean, Tommy, there's groups on Facebook that sells their stuff, dude. There's, I'm on an art group. You just type in the art group, whatever, art group for sale, whatever, and people post their pictures on it, and depends. You want to frame it. You could do all that stuff. If you have a website, you can put it on there. Now I know you're not on Facebook. You told me that before, right? So you can website. I don't know, man. Everything's freaking online nowadays, right? So online means you gotta be on the social media path of selling stuff, because unless where you live has a good, supporting bunch of people. No, you did not try. When did you try? I've never seen anything posted that you tried. Dude, you just gotta get, like, this is what you did. I want you to do this, Rob. Take 3 or 4 pieces that you have. Okay? Site. Even Tom, you could do the same thing. You could just take a picture, put it on there, and say, "Listen, this is for sale." Like on Choose Your Own Path on Facebook. Maybe tell me, no, right? You can't do that because you're not on there. Rob, you could just put it on there and say, "Listen, I'm selling these guys $40 each, $20 each, a nickel a piece, whatever you want." Post it on those sites. Find them on Facebook. You're on Facebook. Just go to sites where type in "sell your wood carvings." Whirly gigs. What is that? Like, there is. If you put yourself out, people buy things. You have to. You have to want to sell them, I guess. I don't tell you really, but I mean, a lot of times, just look at your buddy Jordy. Same thing. He puts stuff out there and sells like crazy. It's not that hard. He just posts it on Facebook Marketplace and all that stuff. It's possible, man. Like, if he can do it, you can do it. I can do it. Anybody can do it, right? I use him as an example because, there's a lot of times where I've seen his stuff up for sale, and then when he was messaging me, he says, "I sold a whole whack of these things. I can't keep up." Well, see, there you go. I mean, if he can sell them, anybody else can. It's and just have some faith in what you got and try it. I mean, go on a bunch of sites that have wood carvings for sale, or, like I said, put it on my site. I don't care. That's what it's there for. Show your stuff off. That's why I want you guys to post your stuff on my site. And then maybe somebody would be interested. Just say, 5 inch, 30, and then you get the money in your pocket, you send it to them. That's the best way to do it. That's what I do. I still have to send out for the contest that I had with the people that won for the drawings. I still got to send those carvings out and stuff like that. No, he doesn't have connections. He's on Facebook, man. That's all it is. He just, he has that one person that he can go do a craft show over there with, and that's fine. That's, he'll tell you that simply too. You have to basically You have to get, he don't, I know when he's told me he don't like doing that stuff, but he knows that when he goes out and does it and he can sell it, he's doing right. He's putting his name out there, and he's giving them their art, and whatever prices he puts on them is what he gets. You don't need connections. You need, social media is your connection. That's what I'm saying. Is it's all about social media. The more you share, the more you put out there, the more people will see what you're doing. The more they'll say, "Hey, I want that." You know, it's not that hard. Especially if you have, oh yeah, the wooden things, yeah. Especially if you have a lot of stuff, a lot of product to show. Now you're giving more, like a visual aid for people to see what you got. Like, I mean, if I only have one stick and that's all I have, people are gonna go, well, that's all he can do is that one stick. Well, no, if I had like 5 or 6 of them, then people can pick it out. Like I have one stick that, it's for sale or it's sold, waiting for the guy to, get his money together and go there. Well, even stuff like, that stuff, if you could make them and you could sell them, why wouldn't you? I mean, how am I going to say this? If you sit on your hands, you're sitting on your ass, nothing will move. If you're just sitting there going, I can't, you won't. You won't. You won't. If you're out there and you're trying, it's like going to the bar and asking 5 girls in a row for a kiss. You might get slapped 4 times and you might get that final kiss at the end. It's possible. You guys' art is it's gonna, it would sell. It's worth it. I've seen the shit you guys do. It'll sell. You gotta have a positive attitude. Get a skull ring. Punch him in the head. In general, if you had sell, it makes it easier. I get it. Some people sit there and go, oh, I live in a small town, I live in a small place. Look at me, I live in a big city. This is a huge city. I could join as many craft sales as I want. Problem with joining craft sales, for me, okay, is, and me and Rob talked about that, is the commission they want for you selling at their place. I mean, the email I just got for it's called, I'm gonna say it in French, it's Festival du Voyageur, which is Festival of the Voyageur, and I just got an email, and I had one last year, same thing. This lady saw my stuff and she wants me to sell at her location. It's a big festival, like we're talking thousands and thousands of people a day for my work. Now, same thing when you go to tables. Some people charge you. I think my buddy Charles Womack, he said they wanted $125 for the table, and then they wanted 20% of your sales. Well, that's a lot of money, guys. That's to me, that's a lot of money to be given to someone that just says, here, I got a spot. Yeah, I'm gonna bring in a lot of traffic. I'm gonna show your name off. You're gonna see. You're gonna sell. Blah blah blah. But I mean, I work hard for my stuff. Man, I work hard for my stuff too, just like the rest of you guys. Here, I could do this for you, Rob. You could sit there and not do anything. Send me all your pictures. I'll put it up for sale, and I'll charge you 50%. Why would you want to do that? Because I'm doing all the legwork? You just did all the other work. Why would I want to take your money? I mean, unless the only way I could see anything like that is if, let's just take this as an example. Rob, you send me a box full of your stuff. You send me like 30 items. Now I go and put this on the table, and I do the talking, and I do the selling. That way I can see, yeah, I'm going to take a cut off you, because now we're working together. You did the work, and I'm going to work on selling this stuff. I'm going to guarantee I'm going to sell as much as I can. I'm not going to promise you I'm going to guarantee it. Now, that I can see. But for you to turn around and say, I'm having a sale outside my yard, and I want 30% of everything you made, that's an insult. That's a kick me in the balls kind of thing. No thanks. It's not going to happen. So I'm not going to even respond to that email. I'm the year after, whatever. Consignment, yeah. Consignment's fine if somebody else is helping you do the work. I agree with that. What I don't agree with is if somebody just saying, like I said, I got an area, let's come and set up your table. I'm going to charge you for that table, and I'm also going to charge you for whatever you. Like if I sold, think of it. What I'm giving, I'll do the math. It doesn't really matter to me. 100 times 30%, I'd be giving him $210. I won't even make my money. I'd be losing money. In this email, this lady says to me, well, make sure that if you want $50 for your item, make sure you ask 70. Well, I don't want to make 70. I want to make 50, and that's all I want to make. But of course, they want their cut. So no, that's not how I. Again, Rob, post your pictures on my site. Tell the people you have this beaver, this pickle, $20, $10, whatever you want to sell it for, whatever you think your work is worth. Put it on there. Nobody's going to sit there and say differently. Give them a story behind it. Tell them, this is the Christmas pickle. Give them a little story and say what it is. You never know. You might get a bite. It doesn't hurt for trying, right? That's all I got to say. Oh, and I'll say more. I'll say a lot more because I'm French and I like to talk. Shiny. The only one thing I had, I carved it was a piece of cottonwood. It was a piece of driftwood. And I carved a hammerhead shark with a stingray that is sort of going up after. And I epoxied it, and I put a lot of epoxy on this stuff because every time I had extra, I would just kind of put it on there. It was something I wanted to do, it was just for fun. And I accidentally dropped it, and a piece of it cracked. And the thing is, it cracked off, so all I'd have to do is repaint it and then put a little bit of stuff. Isn't going to protect you from dropping it. It's not gonna, it's wood, it'll snap. That's why a lot of times I say I like to let it sit for a good week or two before I send it out, because I want to make sure it's cured. It takes it really gets what it's supposed to get. It's you want to make sure it's cured. That's the biggest thing. And like I said, this is one thing I gotta keep an eye on, is just, and you can see, I don't know if you can see that, but there's a drip that'll keep continuously drip until, because it's thick and it's coming down, that will continuously drip until it sets. Alright? So it's a good idea to just, whenever you're doing your projects, keep an eye on it, alright? That's all I'm saying. Keep an eye, make sure it doesn't fall off whatever you're holding it with. See how sticky it is when I touch it? That means it's starting to cure. It definitely means it's starting to cure. Now another thing too is, when I said that putting a torch to your item makes it want to spread, you'll notice too on your projects, that sometimes the epoxy won't it looks like it's not even on that piece right there. Now, what happens is it moves. It did move at first. So, that's why sometimes I like to cover it twice. All right. And I don't have to, because this stuff just sits on a shelf. People look at it and they go, "Oh, that's pretty." Whatever. That's that. You want to make sure that you get a good coating on it. We still got 3 people just watching. Hey, 3 people's all I need. It's good. We're just chatting. Been on here for an hour and a half. It didn't take long to do these guys. That's the thing. Like I said, now it's just more of the watching and make sure the dripping and all that stuff. Doing the sticks a lot harder because I can't see under there. Usually what I have is a light with me and I can just sit there and check it. But I mean, everything looks pretty solid right now. It looks like it's sitting in one spot. It's weird how the first time I've ever done an item like a stick with all need is love, all need is love. All right, well, you give that love, brother. When I first did a stick, yeah, I didn't realize how I had it outside. It was summertime. It was in the garage. I did the same thing I just did now, and then I walked away from it, and then I came back about an hour later and I went, "Oh shit!" Like the top of it, which is upside down, had this huge chunk of epoxy. Some of it dripped, but most of it just hardened. I was stuck with a big chunk, and I had to sand it down, and then when I sanded it down, I had to sand it down with the smoother stuff. And then when that was done, I had to put a little touch of epoxy on it just to make sure that it looked like it was sealed. Longer process for nothing. You know what I mean? But even if you did get a glump on it, whatever, it's no big deal. I mean, it's like I said, it is sandable. Good way to make boogers. You're a booger. Booger boy. Good God, I'm starting to get hungry. You know, Tommy, the colors are looking pretty good on this guy. I'll tell you, I like it. I think it's coming out pretty sweet. Like, I mean, the bottom of the top of the head here, I ended up using like a bronze color through the airbrush, and it was pretty prominent. You know, the color was, yeah, it's like plastic. It was pretty, it looked too much, I thought. But again, when you put the epoxy on it, it basically, it dulled out the color, so it looks like, it's sort of like a brown kind of, you'll see too, when you see it, and you see it in a different light, it happens. The epoxy is, yeah, I guess it's like you can almost say it's like a plastic. I know, me too. Almost nap time. It's like 1:30. I'm almost cutting, pushing my ass on this one. But I'm getting hungry. That's the damn thing. I just have to, I'd say another 10-15 minutes, and because already the dripping has rightfully so slowed down, which is good. Rightfully so. Sort of like tipping it too, eh? Like if I do it one way in and I move it, it's sort of like gravity takes. It's weird how epoxy works. It just wants to drag itself down because it's heavy. You know, it's like when you put a first thing of almost like, say, if like would you using stain, and you take a brush and you put it on top, it just leaks all the way down. Well, the epoxy has that same effect. But I just think it just pops stuff out. You know, like some people don't like it. Some people sit there and go, it looks too shiny. I think it looks not shiny. It just makes the items look nicer. And it's easier to clean, I'll tell you that. You know what? When you put epoxy on your item and say you let it sit and the dust gets to it, a damp rag, you wipe it down, it's great. Wonder if you could spray it somehow. What do you want to spray? Epoxy? No. Epoxy's too thick. Epoxy would not it would never run through any kind of machine. You guys have gravity in Canada. What? What are you talking about, Willis? We're the gravity capital of Canada. With all the beavers. And pickles. No, you couldn't spray epoxy. That's, I don't think that's even possible. Stop making fun of me, Rob. You don't want me to come and see you. Why do you think our toilets run this way, not that way? It's the gravity, man. Nap time and toilet time. Yep, yep. Well, I think I'm gonna have my smoke. Nah, never. It's all fine. That's okay. I don't take offense to anything, and I don't read into things the wrong way. It's all good. Crapper. I got this guy too. I was gonna their way of doing the wolf. But I might save him for later. Give me something to do later. Maybe tomorrow. Once this stuff's all dry, then I can just move it aside and not worry about anything getting stuck to it. Yeah, Rob, what kind of video are you doing up next? I want to see some just carve Rob going on. Oh yeah, he's doing the Oscar the Grouch. Better watch you don't get sued by Sesame Street, eh? Don't get sued by Sesame Street by doing characters. There's actually there's a guy out here in Winnipeg. He's a carver. I've known him for a while. He's the guy who actually got me into this. He did a Disney character. He did a Disney character, and actually Disney, I don't know if it was him or someone else, actually got an email saying he has to take it down, or you can't do this, or they'll sue him or something like that. You really have to watch when you're doing like any kind of characters. You know, by law, singing Happy Birthday, swallow the Grouch. By law, singing Happy Birthday, you could have to pay some sort of gratuity fees. That's a big word. I mean, not that they'll come after you, but I know in movies and all that, if they're doing stuff like that, they have to pay them some sort of fees. So they say you have to watch when you're doing carvings. Like, There's a guy in Calgary, Alberta, out here that we have. Again, names just pass me out. I watch his videos all the time, and he just carved the new baby Yoda. Yeah, the baby Yoda. You know, Disney being part of that catches him doing that, they could sue him. Technically, they can. I mean, especially if he's got lots of it out there. Lumix. I want to get a camera because I'm using my phone right. This is my old phone I'm using. My new phone's right here. I don't want to get too much on there. There's a camera that I was looking at, and it's called. I wonder if I have it on this phone. Let's see if I have it. I might have deleted it. Let's see here. Deleted. Probably on my other phone. Yeah, it's probably on my other phone. Anyway, it's a camera that has a little screen that pops up from the back. Like you could lift it up or fold it upwards. And then it's almost the same concept to this, right? So you'd be filming and you could see yourself so that you know what you're looking at. And the make of it, I just can't remember. Unless I have it here somewhere. I thought for sure I had it. Hold on. Must have deleted it. Unless it's on my other phone. That's the way mine is. Yeah, flip screen. Yeah, that's what I want to get. I think it was roughly about like probably close to $400 in tax. I was looking at it and I thought maybe, but like right now having the iPhone. I always got to keep this one plugged in because the battery dies on it fast. So it's just one of those kind of things. But that's a good thing. I'll do that for vlogging. Yeah, but yeah, that's pretty much what I mean. They're not cheap, but. Cameras aren't cheap, but if you definitely want to get some good film, thank you Santa. Yeah, if you definitely want to get some good, nice videos and pictures, you definitely have to spend a couple of dollars. That's just the way it is. I mean, sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. That's just the way it is. Put yourself a little bit in debt and go from there. Alright, let's just check out the bottom of this guy. I'm not going to take my camera. Take my light. Where's my light? Yeah, I see a big dripping happen on the bottom of the skull already. The only shitty thing about this is you can't really grab it and turn it upside down. You can't just flip it back upside down kind of thingy. So that's why when you're putting it on, putting your epoxy on there. You always have to keep an eye on it. Because you can't really, you don't want to grab it and flip it over.
Sell some of my garbage to pay for that camera.
You're damn right, you better start selling them. Well, that's as much as I can get out of that. So, I think we're going to call this a wrap because we're almost at the 2-hour mark and whatever. Nap time. Get something to eat and nap. I know there's only 3 of you watching right now. I don't even know who the hell the third one is, but that's all good. You know? Hopefully this will get shared or whatever. People will watch it later on or whatever. We'll see what happens. So, we're going to say it like we always do. If I can do it, you can do it. Thanks for watching, guys. Give it about a week, and it'll be ready to send out to you, Tommy. All right, choose your own path, guys. Thanks for coming along. Catch you soon. Bye-bye.